So, the summer months are always much more productive than the winter months. So I'm not fighting this particular phenomena currently, I'm just outlining what I'm working on. So, three things of most importance currently. The first is associated with the original London simulation. Bob Mottram did most of the work associated with the map automation. I'm now looking at the proximity radius, basically everything that relates to the buildings I'm now looking at to try and improve the algorithm of calculating building shape rather than having to do it manually, because manually unfortunately doesn't scale too well. Other things being done currently. So, back one. I'm trying to get a format together of the JSON file for London1940, which includes the internal rooms. And the reason I'm doing this is because UrbanSim currently works pretty well as it says on the packet. It does have an OpenGL component to it, because basically Apple removed OpenGL for a period of time and I had to rewrite the OpenGL that was being used here in software. So that is an interesting foible, but something that I think I'll just write London1940 format interface in order to get this UrbanSim picking up the London1940 formats. And then I'm going to probably do it on a small subset of the total places. So London1940 examples, probably just starting off with Ashford, and then, there we go, Ashford, and then probably Canterbury, and then probably Maidstone. May switch those around, may do Maidstone and Canterbury. The aim here is, well, ideally to get to maps where the building shapes are not as rough as they are currently. So just looking at the building shape analysis and getting that correct. I was planning on doing this manually, but doing it manually just will not scale for doing all of London. The maps are just too vast. So what I want is a better than nothing approximation of the building structures, which means modifying Bob Mottram's code. Let's see, Bob Mottram's code in the JSON to map, or map to JSON rather. So in here, getting into the source primarily, and per this, basically looking at the components that Bob uses as being his underlying constants and seeing if manipulating those constants will improve the algorithm at all, and then actually going in and looking at the algorithm with regards to threshold. So I think we search for buildings here. We see where most of the buildings stuff is put. Let's look here, buildings. Let's start with a building. So these are the output files basically as it goes through. So I've been starting to look at these associated with where does the improvement need to go. Obviously here there's various constant manipulation, other things. It's a relatively slow process because it's the winter months, but this is what I'm looking at currently. To improve the building format, and then pick up the building format through an interface which has been defined here, and then put that into the urban simulation specifically. The urban simulation, as it is currently, outputs its own format. So the aim is to get that output format on London1940 and then take an input format which will then convert back to the urban sim. I should probably run the urban simulation here. Recent projects. UrbanSim, just so you get a sense of what it is. I returned it back to the original coloring too. So, with a bit of luck, and it looks very OpenGL-esque. You can see why I had to rewrite the engine for OpenGL, basically, when this came through. Love load time on a video. Here we go. So this is the London... Well, sorry, this is UrbanSim as it is specifically. The aim would be to make it, let's pinch it down, there we go. So you see the overlaps, what their vision is hitting immediately. Anyway, Tom Barbalet, brief update for December at Las Vegas, Nevada, signing out.